Hey guys, Brian here. Well, in this episode of turning this shed into a mini cabin, I'm going to be insulating the walls and then hopefully putting up the ceiling and a little bit of the walls. But if you guys haven't seen my other videos, I'll put some links so you guys can see what I've done so far. Since the last video, I did a couple things off camera just because they were pretty minor. We got this awesome Lifetime fold up table with bench seats. Super cool. I'll put an Amazon link in the description. It fits perfectly between our larger window here. And speaking of windows, I did replace this small window over here. It's just a little 2 foot by 2 foot. The seal is kind of messed up. It's just a little single pane one. Lowe's had them on sale for about 90 bucks. So I figured this is a great time to replace it if I'm going to do it. And then the last thing I did, there was an old bed platform over here. I removed that. And actually, between that and the old door, I built some really nice shelving in my shipping container. And that just helps organize things in there a lot better. So, like I said, today, the main focus is for sure get this place insulated and then hopefully be able to put up the ceiling or get as much done as possible. So let's get to it. Alright, well I got the walls all insulated up. Unfortunately, I have to go in like 45 minutes, so I'm not going to get the ceiling done. I am going to get some different insulation though, because the rafters are actually 24-inch on center versus the walls were 16 on center. But for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to get the ceiling prepped and ready. I'll show you guys what I need to do here. So the guy who built this installed these rafter ties. However, he didn't move them up all the way. You can see it comes down maybe about 3/4 of an inch from where I need to put the ceiling. So I either need to move all those up, or I consider just trimming that off with a grinding wheel. But then obviously it's going to make the rafter tie weak. So I think I'll just try moving them up. Some of them are done differently, so they're not an issue. So yeah. But overall, looks good with the wall insulated. It's not as echoey in here. It's definitely going to help out with warming and keeping it cooler. And so I am looking forward to getting it done and getting this ceiling up. We're going to be here in a few days, thankfully, so I will get that new insulation. But for now, I'll get these hurricane ties fixed up. This one all done. Now I'm just going to trim this up with the foam. This corner will be ready. Alright guys, well, it's a new day. Last time I checked in was actually 2 days ago, or 2 working days. But anyways, last night I started putting up the ceiling. I was going to insulate the ceiling with the insulation I used on the walls. However, this is 16 on center and the rafters were 24-inch on center. So that was a goof on my part because I didn't check that. So I had considered getting that fiberglass bat insulation that you can put up there because that was the cheapest option. But I hate working with that stuff because it's so itchy and I didn't want to be cutting it and working it above my face and having it fall in. And then I considered rock wool, but rock wool is super expensive. And it would have cost more to do the ceiling than all the walls here. And so I went with 1-inch foam that has a foil face. I put the foil up because that's what everybody said to do. So I put the foil up so it's supposed to reflect heat out. And then I'm going to put 2 gable vents on the outside. But yeah, what I ended up doing was actually gluing that foam to the OSB and then putting everything up. In hindsight, I would not do that again. What I should have done was actually cut the pieces and put them up in each of the rafter sections and then put the ceiling up. And the reason for that is because when I would put the ceiling up with the drywall lift and I torqued down the screws, the foam would start to compress where the screw is. So I was starting to get a little wavy action in the ceiling. And I wasn't able to countersink the screw. That was the other thing. So what I ended up doing was using my drill, drilling a hole where I wanted to put this screw that was large enough for the head, and then I would sink the screw in so it would countersink it, and then I wouldn't over tighten it. And that ended up working well. It was just a little bit more time and an extra step. But now I'm excited because now we're working on the walls. My in-laws are here, my family's here. They came in, they saw it, and they are super excited with how it looks, and so am I. It's definitely starting to feel like a little cabin in here. So I'm going to, about for the next hour, get working on this. And we're going to do some family stuff. So I'm going to see how much I can get done here in an hour. So for the walls, what I'm doing is I am putting a piece of OSB on the bottom so that there'll be a slight gap. That way if you spill something, then the wall isn't absorbing anything. But so I put that on the bottom and I measured out. So I should be able to rest the wall piece on there and then get it all screwed in. One other thing I did not mention is on that bottom OSB piece, I also marked where the studs are. They're sort of 16 on center, but not everywhere. I know somebody's probably going to say, oh, you should do the line or the sides with the line so you know where you're going. Well, that side is the rougher portion, and this should paint easier. At least that's what I'm hoping. Wow, okay. Yeah. These are Phillips heads. Should have went with the star bit. Clean this up a little bit, but not bad. Not too shabby. 1 down, 10 to go. That took 20 minutes, so it's like 3.5 hours. All right, let's get to it. Alright guys, well we are done. Putting up the walls, the ceiling, insulating, all that just finished up. So it feels awesome to get to this point because basically we could sleep in here now if we wanted to and we would be comfortable. So kind of what's next, I am going to prime and caulk and paint the walls, and I will likely be putting up trim around the windows and everything, just super basic. I did get a small kitchen cabinet on Facebook Marketplace for 25 bucks. It's got 2 drawers, 2 doors, and it's going to fit perfectly. It's a little under 4 foot. It's going to go over here, and then I'll put some shelving because I have some leftover OSB, so I'll make some shelving above that. That's going to be our kitchen. We already have our little table. Just got to get the cots, and yeah, I think we'll be pretty good. For power and stuff, I'm just going to use a power station for lighting and stuff like that. It's going to make it so much easier. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you in the next one.